Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. This is part one of part two. So be sure to tune in next week for the next installment. I'm super pumped because we are 2 weeks into the winter shred and everybody is making serious progress towards their spring break bodies. They're hitting it hard and I love seeing the dedication. So if you are one of my shredders, amazing job. So I hope you had an incredible weekend. We had the Super Bowl, of course, and had tons of yummy snacks. Also enjoyed just being with my family. If I'm honest, I really just like the halftime show. So that is what I enjoyed. So, new podcast episode drops every Monday. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss a single one. This past week on my Instagram, we celebrated Clubhouse member Stacy, who has lost over 40 pounds. You should take a look at her after pictures. She's also not done yet. She has a cruise that she has planned for in May and she wants to feel her best. So if you need motivation, head over to my Instagram, Kelly Counts Macros, counts with a K, and check it out. If you are interested in the Clubhouse membership, direct message me or visit kellycountsmacros.com to learn more. So, the Kelly Counts Macros Clubhouse recipe of the week inside of the membership. So, this past week in the Clubhouse, we made a peanutty tofu yummy dish. And let me tell you, it is so good. It's packed with protein. It's perfect even for serving guests. The Clubhouse members get exclusive access to these recipes inside of the app and inside of the Clubhouse. They have a clickable link, so you never have to scroll through social media wondering where you saved the recipes. Does anybody else do that? They save it and then they can't remember where. So inside of the Clubhouse, all of the recipes are in one spot. I am also featured in the My Macros Plus app. That is what I use with my clients. It works like gangbusters because it is super accurate. You can search for me under by brand, then Kelly Counts Macros inside of the My Macros Plus app so that you can track all of my recipes. If you want to check out my Instagram, I have my recipes posted there as well. Once again, the bonus of being inside the clubhouse is all the recipes are right there and clickable. So, would you mind leaving me a review? Quick favor. I read every single one and they help me reach more people. If you haven't yet, please leave a review and hit that follow button. So, a new episode drops every Monday. I don't want you to miss any. And let's change the next generation by ditching the dieting mentality. So, today we're diving into a common question I get. Why am I so hungry? Now, first, I do want to say if you are shredding or cutting or in a calorie deficit, being hungry is normal. It is part of being in a cut, it is part of being in the shred, and it's going to be just a little bit uncomfortable. And hunger is not an emergency. So it's actually normal for when you're in a cut or in a calorie deficit or in my shred to be a little bit hungry. So completely normal. First, let me explain hunger. So, hunger is a complex process regulated by the brain, hormones, and the nervous system to ensure the body gets the energy that it needs. So, it's influenced by multiple factors, including hormones, blood sugar levels, and even psychological cues, right? When you smell something good. So, here's how it all connects: the brain's role in hunger. So, the hypothalamus, it's a small but very powerful part of the brain. It acts as the control center for the hunger and the satiety. Satiety meaning just feeling satisfied, feeling full. It processes signals from hormones and nutrients to regulate when we eat and how much. The lateral hypothalamus triggers hunger when energy is needed. The ventromedial hypothalamus signals fullness after eating. So, key hormones that regulate hunger that you may or may not have heard of. So these work together to increase or suppress appetite. So hormones that increase hunger, that stimulate eating, ghrelin. So the hunger hormone released by the stomach when it's empty, it signals the brain to eat. A neuropeptide Y commonly called NPY, stimulates appetite and cravings, especially for carbs. Cortisol, the stress hormone, which can lead to increased cravings for high calorie foods. Now, hormones that decrease hunger and suppress eating. So, leptin produced by fat cells. This hormone signals the brain that you have enough stored energy and reduces your appetite. So, peptide YY, also called PYY, released by the intestines after eating to promote satiety, being satisfied, being full. So, and then CCK, secreted when fat and protein enter the small intestine, helping you feel full. And then insulin helps regulate blood sugar and can influence hunger signals. So, why do we feel hungry beyond just needing food? So perhaps low blood sugar, drops in blood sugar levels can trigger hunger signals. Stress and emotion. Emotional eating happens when stress, boredom, or anxiety cause the cravings. Food and environment and social triggers. So seeing or smelling food, even when you're truly not hungry, can make us want to eat. So smelling the food outside, for me, definitely, if my husband is grilling or we are standing outside a steakhouse, or perhaps at Hershey Park in Pennsylvania, where the entire park smells like chocolate. So being around these environments will trigger you feeling hungry. Lack of sleep. I don't know if you noticed, but lack of sleep, this poor sleep disrupts ghrelin and leptin balance, leading to increased hunger. Ever notice when you're tired, you eat or you eat more in that day? Not only are you up longer, you're battling this imbalance, and then also leading to I'm tired, so I'm just going to grab this or that or go through the drive-through. So I want to talk about stomach hunger versus brain hunger and what's the difference. So I'm going to repeat that. Stomach hunger versus brain hunger. So stomach hunger shows physical signs of hunger, such as hunger pangs or a growling stomach. One way to tell is if any food sounds good to you, you're not craving something specific. Think of what maybe your mom used to say to you. If you're really hungry, eat an apple. Another test is drinking water. Sometimes hunger can disguise itself as dehydration or thirst. So if you drink water and you're still hungry after 10 minutes, it's likely true hunger. Lastly, stomach hunger builds over time and won't go away. This is real physical hunger. All right, brain hunger, on the other hand, brain hunger or food noise that makes you think you're hungry when you're actually not. And this might be caused by habit, emotions, external cues. Here are some signs of brain hunger. You don't show physical signs of hunger. Your brain is just telling you to eat. You crave something very specific, like ice cream or chocolate or chips and salsa. You drink water and the hunger disappears. Your hunger appears suddenly and then fades just as quickly. So if you're anything like most of my clients, you're probably wondering why you keep eating when you're not actually hungry. And you might think it's just a bad habit, but it's more to it than that. Hunger and cravings are driven by two different things: stomach hunger and brain hunger. So the next time you are craving something, ask yourself, am I really hungry, or is my brain just being lazy? So food cravings are often driven right by emotional needs, stress, boredom, loneliness, or even depression. So if you find yourself thinking about food when you're not truly hungry, the best thing to do is try one of several strategies, which we'll go over in the next episode. But learning to tell the difference between true hunger and emotional eating starts with understanding what causes hunger in the first place. So stomach hunger is often characterized by a growling or a rumbling sensation in the stomach, which lasts about 15 minutes. If you feel this is a type of physical hunger, make sure to eat something, okay? Grab something with protein that will keep you full so you don't make yourself sick. Brain hunger, also known as emotional eating, can be harder to recognize because it's based on feelings and emotions rather than a physical cue. So some signs of brain hunger include eating while doing something else, like watching TV or working on the computer. or scrolling through Instagram. Eating when you feel stressed, sad, or anxious. Eating even when you're bored. So if you're not sure whether you're just hungry or bored, ask yourself what you really need. If it's a snack and you're truly hungry, go ahead and eat something. But if it's something else, maybe you need a break from work or time spent with friends. Try to fulfill that need in another way. So, why do chronic dieters have hunger, hormones, and their metabolism all screwed up? So, chronic dieters often struggle with hunger, their metabolism and hormones because repeated cycles of restriction, then overeating, and extreme dieting disrupt the body's natural balance. So, here's what happens maybe it's hormonal chaos, hunger signals get out of whack. When somebody diets for too long or too aggressively, their hunger hormones get dysregulated. So we talked about the ghrelin, the hunger hormone, it increases. So the body thinks it's starving, so it ramps up the ghrelin production, making you feel hungrier. The longer and more extreme the diet, the more ghrelin your body produces. So leptin, the fullness hormone, decreases. Leptin is produced by fat cells and tells your brain, we have enough energy, time to stop eating. With chronic dieting and fat loss, leptin levels drop, making you feel hungrier and less satisfied after meals. The brain also becomes less responsive to leptin. So even if you eat enough, your brain doesn't always recognize it. So this leads to increased cravings, more frequent hunger, and a constant battle with food. And this is something that chronic dieters go through. So survival mode kicks in, right? When you diet too hard for too long, your body lowers. It's called metabolic adaptation, and it's the way of your body protecting itself. So fewer calories burned at rest. Your body becomes more efficient. Your body is like a factory, all right? Meaning you burn fewer calories just to stay alive, less energy from movement. So you unconsciously move less, you fidget less, you walk less, further reducing the calorie burn. So muscle loss, extreme dieting can cause muscle breakdown. I've seen this a lot with people that are on medications or injections for fat loss. Okay. It causes muscles to break down. I haven't really seen anybody on a medication or a shot that has muscle definition. All right. The metabolism is slowed even more. This is why chronic dieters often say, I'm eating so little, but I'm not losing weight. Their body has adapted to the restriction. So the awful binge restrict cycle, it's a vicious loop that I hear about often. Chronic dieting often leads to overeating or binging due to both physiological and psychological reasons. So, some physiological triggers. When the body is deprived of calories for too long, it fights back by increasing hunger and cravings, especially for all the yummies, right? Like high calorie, high carb, high fat foods. And this is why people who diet too strictly often end up binging on things like Moose Tracks ice cream and their favorite cereal and a bag of Doritos and peanut butter and all the bread and the sweets. Okay. They eat a whole box of crumble cookies. Physiological triggers, food rules, and guilt. Chronic dieters, I see this all the time. I'm still seeing it in the shred right now. We're working through it. Often label foods as good or bad, which leads to feelings of guilt and failure when they eat something off the plan. That's why we don't do meal plans. Okay, that just doesn't work. If you're continuing to do a meal plan, what happens when you stop that meal plan? Okay. The screw it mentality. One bad meal turns into a whole cheat day or a cheat weekend because they think I already messed this up. I might as well keep going. Another trigger, emotional eating. So the stress of dieting itself can lead to emotional eating, further reinforcing the binge restrict cycle. So chronic dieting, it wrecks your muscles and your strength gains. Not eating enough protein and calories makes it harder to build and maintain muscle, which is essential for a strong metabolism. Over time, chronic dieters lose lean muscle mass, which makes fat loss even harder. So strength training helps, but if you're under eating, you won't see the gains you want. You will be frustrated and stalled progress. So I see this often, people that lose the weight and then they continue to just concentrate on the scale instead of concentrating on measurements, progress pictures, increasing weight in the gym. Um, they're still concentrating too much on the scale, even though they have reached their goal. I have air quotes, goal weight. All right, so the solution is reverse dieting. If you need more information on that, I did a big episode on that. You can go back there and check that out. Okay, basically increasing calories. It restores your metabolic function without rapid weight gain, helps regulate your hunger hormones. Lifting weights consistently builds the muscle and boosts the metabolism. So focusing on long-term habits, not quick fixes. Sustainable fat loss comes from consistency, not extremes. If you're waiting for the diet to be over, then you are definitely on the wrong path. So years of extreme dieting, low calorie intake, and food fear wreck hunger signals, right? Slow metabolism makes fat loss harder. So the key is to eat enough, strength train, and be patient. If you want long-term results, you have to ditch the crash diets and focus on sustainability. Next week, we will go over what to eat and how to solve this hunger problem. So share this, please, and tag me. I'd love for you to share this episode on social media and tag me at Kelly Counts Macros, counts with a K, so I can personally thank you. Leave a 5-star review. You might even hear yours read on the podcast. Stop overthinking it. I know you're busy, short on time, and overwhelmed with conflicting information. That's why I simplify everything so you can take action now. If you're interested in the clubhouse, direct message me. But in the meantime, join my free Facebook community, tons of free resources, how to set your own macros, hacks to hit your protein, how to drink wine and lose weight, your custom roadmap to muscles. If you get in the Kelly Counts Macros Facebook community, that is free. All of these are available under the guides section inside of the Facebook group. Thanks for tuning in. Please share this episode. Remember, it's not about the all or nothing, it's about the all or something, and you're always doing better than you think you are. See you next time.